Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, all protocols observed. Now, before I make my presentation on behalf of Plan International, I would want us to take just 3 minutes to watch this clip in trying to put in perspective what we're talking about in terms of children who are invisible, children who are not counted, and children who are not part of any society. Thank you.
Do not skip me. They do not count me in. They do skip. I missed this paper slip. I am sad. I cannot go to school and prepare for my final exam. My teacher said that I have to repeat because I am not registered. I do not have a birth certificate. This document is taking away my dream. I will not be a doctor. Can you? Anyone? Can someone hear my cry? I need your help. My grandmother traveled 50 kilometers to the district registered to get me this document only to find long queue. The staff there was only one. Some people had to sleep there as a result of the long queue. My grandmother gave up. She was tired and frustrated. If denied the document, this birth certificate, my identity goes to sleep. The price delayed my future. One day, some people came to our village with a plan. Their campaign changed my life. They brought a campaign called Count Every Child. This made it easy for parents, children, and community to get registration. I am registered. Now I can joyfully wake up. Now I can go to school and prepare for my final exam. With this document, I can now realize my full potential.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm not really sure what you were thinking when you were watching this video. I've watched it over and over and over, and two things do come to mind. One of the things that do come to mind is if I wasn't registered and I was like Irene, what would be my situation at this point in time? Now, there are millions of children in Africa who never got the opportunity we do, who never got to sit here to decide on the future of other children, who never got the opportunity to decide how we shape the future of other children. Now, you and I have that opportunity, and as we sit here today, the question I would want you to ask yourself is, what difference are you going to make in the life of that child? Now, there are over 85 million children as Irene. To put it in context, we're talking about the population of Ghana, the population of Cote d'Ivoire, the population of Kenya, probably the population of Mauritania, and you can add Equatorial Guinea. That is the magnitude of the number of children who are not registered, who go unrecognized. Children who have no future, who have no access to inheritance, who have no access to health, and like in the case of Irene, who have no access to education. Their dreams are shattered, they have no hope for the future, and do get abused, and when they get abused, as in other countries we work in, there's no opportunity to be able to prove their ages because there's no birth register, no birth certificate to prove what their ages are. And so as I stand here, we have two commitments, and we also want to call on honorable ministers to do two things. The first thing we want to talk about is law reforms. We want every country to take law reform seriously, but whilst we're doing that, we also want to recognize that if the laws are going to impact on the welfare of the children, and if they're going to have any adverse effect on the children, we'd want you to take that into consideration and make sure that children are not adversely affected by the policies and the legislations we put in place. The second thing we want to talk about is the issue of resource mobilization and resource allocation. Now, over the past 4 years, what we've heard here is that we need resources to be able to improve on vital registration. Now, the question I do ask myself is, whose responsibility is it to be able to raise resources to address the issue of non-registration of vital statistics among children in the countries where we work? Now, we believe every country here and every one of us here had the opportunity to be able to contribute to raising enough resources to address the issues that face vital statistics and registration in the countries we work in. Now, as an organization, Plan is committed to support civil registration in all countries. We commit ourselves to raise resources wherever we can and to work with governments in coordination, work with governments in collaborations to address the issue of child registration, an issue that contributes to child abuse in the countries we work in. We also want to commit ourselves to work with all civil societies. We want to commit ourselves to work in collaboration with communities and the partners we do work with. We do recognize that it is important to bring them on board. And until we bring them on board, until we raise awareness, until we get them to understand the importance of birth registration, we do realize that we're still lag behind in making sure that every child gets counted. We believe we have a responsibility, we believe we have a commitment, we believe that the children in our countries are waiting upon us to take some decision and to take some action. We've spoken enough since we've been here, we've deliberated enough since we've been here, and we believe that as we move from here, it's time for us to take action. It's time for us to go back and start doing the thing that we've committed ourselves to do. So as I leave this podium on behalf of Plan International, we would want to say that let's live here, let's make sure that every African child is counted, because each one of them is going to be the leaders we're looking up to. And if you don't have children who are registered, children who have an identity, children who can recognize and be able to associate themselves to a nation, we are all going to be living here with our pensions, with our health systems not guaranteed, because the next generation of children are not going to be registered, and we're not going to get them to be able to support the life that we want them to support them. So thank you very much, and we want to call on all of you, we want to call on each one of you to commit yourself, to commit your resources, and to commit your actions to make sure our children are registered and none of them is left behind. Thank you very much.